Hello everyone, welcome to the Hindu editorial vocabulary and reading program presenting by Diction Addiction. Today's Hindu editorial title is Boosting Protection. Boosting Protection. It's on emergence of Omicron. Government had decided to give additional or a precaution vaccine, and that today's in the editorial. The first one is rolled out. Rolled out means a product or a service being introduced to the world. That process is called as rolled out, first time into the market. Booster dose means additional dose to the mandatory on top of the mandatory doses. Vaccine is given in two doses, first primary dose and second dose. If you give an extra dose, that dose is called as a booster dose to improve the immunity for a long time. Comorbidities. Comorbidities means a person is suffering from more than two diseases at the same time. A person is having hypertension, means BP, or diabetes, then that is called as a comorbidities. Frontline workers. These are the people who works at the industry organization, have an important role, and their presence is very must. So they have to be there in the physically. So they are called as a frontline workers. They are very essential. Natural infection. Infection caused by a virus or a bacteria or any other microbe is called as a natural infection. Hybrid immunity. A person is having two kinds of immunity. One is developed through the natural infection, or second one is developed through the vaccination. So combination of immunity developed by the infection and immunity developed by the vaccination is called as hybrid immunity. Sterilizing immunity means preventing the infection through the vaccination is called as sterilizing immunity. For example, if you take a polio vaccine, is a sterilizing immunity. So once the people who have taken that vaccine will not get the particular infection. That immunity developed by the vaccine is called as a sterilizing immunity. Mitigate means reduce the intensity. Reducing is called as a mitigate. Breakthrough infections. Breakthrough infections. So people who have taken the vaccine, but still they are susceptible to infection, that infection is called as a breakthrough infections. Nowadays you can see people who are vaccinated, both doses, still they are susceptible to Omicron or Delta variants. That those infections are called as breakthrough infections. Efficacious means getting the desired result. Intranasal means through the nose. If you give something to the nose, that is called as intranasal. Highly infectious. Highly infectious means bacteria or virus or any other microbe is having the ability to spread from one person to other person very quickly or rapidly is called as highly infectious. Omicron is a variant of COVID-19 having the almost more than 50 changes in its genome. Silver bullets. This is my favorite word for today. Silver bullet means simple and seemingly magical solution to complicated problems. So simple solution to complicated problems, that if you give, that is called as silver bullets. Neutralizing antibodies. Antibodies are protecting proteins produced by the vertebrate in response to the foreign antigen. So here neutralizing antibodies means antibodies which can kill the microbe They are called as neutralizing antibodies. High immune escape capability. High immune escape capability. The microbe which can breach the or cross the immunity mounted by previous infection or previously they're vaccinated, that is called as high immune escape capability. So these are the technical words which are there in the today's editorial, hence I have presented them. Hope you will understand the article with the help of this session. The next session is a reading session. We'll move to that one. Wait for a moment. Nearly a year after India rolled out the COVID-19 vaccination program, it began administering a precaution dose, scientifically called a third or booster dose, to people above 60 years with comorbidities, healthcare and frontline workers on January 10th. On day one, about 1 million people received the booster shot. Though 98 million people above 60, 9.7 million healthcare workers, and nearly 17 million frontline workers have received the second dose on January 9th. The actual number of people in the three groups eligible to receive the booster dose will be lower. The reason, only those who have taken the second dose 9 months or 39 weeks ago will be eligible to receive the booster shot. Also, among the elderly, only those with the comorbidities will be eligible to receive the additional shot. The 9-month gap between the second and the booster dose is not based on any clinical trials, but evidence of protection offered by natural infection lasting up to that period. The only data on homologous boosting of fully vaccinated individuals 6 months after the second dose comes from a study using Covaxin in 184 participants. Covaxin comprises 12.7% of the nearly 1.2 billion doses administered so far. But a sizable percentage of the fully vaccinated might have had a previous infection, increasing the level of protection and possibly the duration of protection that hybrid immunity offers. A booster shot in such people will confer greater protection against severe disease and death. None of the COVID-19 vaccines currently being used for immunization offers sterilizing immunity, which completely prevents infection. Administering a booster dose will surely increase the level of neutralizing antibodies, but even that does not guarantee full protection from infection. The prime objective of COVID-19 vaccines, including the booster, is not to prevent infection, but to only mitigate disease severity. If this was true, even with the virus strain first identified in Wuhan, China, and all the vaccines that have been developed using this strain, the variants which have emerged later have highlighted the limitation of the COVID-19 vaccines currently available. Even if the variants have demonstrated increased ability to cause breakthrough infections among those who have received the booster shot. All the vaccines have been highly effective in stopping the disease from becoming severe and causing death. Till such time as a safe and highly efficacious intranasal vaccine that confers a high level of protection against infection becomes available, even those who receive the booster shot cannot let their guard down. Since none of the booster dose has been developed using the variants that have emerged, the highly infectious Omicron variant, with its high immune escape capability, can cause breakthrough infections. Hence, vaccine should not be seen as a silver bullet, but must be used in combination with the masks and other COVID appropriate behavior to drastically cut the risk of infection. This is all about reading. Let us go into the summary of the article. You see, as on today, almost 1.58 billion doses of vaccine was or vaccination was over. Means 150 crore people have taken the vaccine, or doses. It is in that you see above 60 years were 98 million people. Healthcare workers are 9.7, almost 9.7 million people. Frontline workers are 17 million. Now, government decided to give additional dose to the people who are above 60 years and healthcare workers and frontline workers. But what is the condition here? Condition is that booster dose only for above 60 years with the comorbidities. Whoever is having the more than two diseases at the same time, they are eligible to receive the booster dose. And the second condition is that, again, the second condition is that the time gap between the second dose to the and the precaution dose or booster dose, it must be more than 9 months or 39 weeks. Then only they are eligible. It means that frontline workers or healthcare workers 60 years with the comorbidities will receive the booster dose only if they have time between the second dose to booster dose is more than 9 months or 39 weeks. If not, they are not eligible to receive the booster dose. How come the government derived to 9 months period? Because natural infection can confer the immunity up to 9 months. Based on that, they said that 9 months gap is necessary to receive the booster dose. And vaccination, through the vaccination, the immunity can only sustainable up to 6 months. This data is coming from the Covaxin studies. And what is hybrid immunity? Hybrid immunity, here you see the person is vaccinated as well as is contracted with the infection. Then the person is developed with both the natural and vaccination infection. That person is more resistant to the any variant of COVID-19. So in India, most of the people symptomatically or asymptomatically infected, later on they are vaccinated. So there is no problem for those people. And these vaccines are not giving the sterilizing immunity. Means they cannot stop the causing infection. What they can do is that only can reduce the severity of the disease of this disease. And as on today, all the vaccines for COVID-19 can only reduce the severity of the infection, but cannot stop the infection. And here you see the last and final point: vaccination should not be seen as a silver bullet. Means that's how only vaccination cannot work alone. So how to stop the infection? Spreading the infection means vaccination as well as the other COVID-19 behavior, appropriate behavior can only stop the spreading of this virus. What are those? Washing hands, masking, physical distance. In addition to the vaccination, if you can follow these COVID-19 appropriate behavior, then we can stop the spreading of virus very quickly, and our health line, our health industry can support the people who are affected with the virus. So this is all about today's editorial. If at all you like it, just subscribe for regular updates. Until then, see you again with the next editorial. Bye bye.